It was supposed to be routine, just another convoy run, but the sky was wrong. The road was too quiet. And then everything exploded. The IED tore through the lead vehicle without warning. A fireball lit up the desert road, shrapnel raining down like knives. Within seconds, the rest of the convoy was engulfed in chaos, metal crumpled, radios cut, soldiers flung from their seats. When the dust finally settled, silence fell. That's what the rescue team found hours later. Silence. Thick smoke, twisted steel, scorched earth. No voices, no motion, just wreckage. Captain Ruiz stood at the edge of the perimeter, scanning the scene with binoculars. "No movement," he muttered into his radio. "This looks bad." They moved in slowly. The heat still shimmered off crumpled vehicles. Ash floated through the air like snow. The smell of fuel and fire clung to everything. A medic stepped carefully over a wheel axle fused to the road. No heat signatures, no life signs. Ruiz exhaled. "Understood. Begin recovery protocol. We'll—" A bark. He froze. One sharp bark echoed from behind the farthest truck shell. Then another, louder, frantic. All heads turned. "Hold!" Ruiz said. "Did anyone else hear?" The bark came again. Then a shape, small, fast, limping, broke through the smoke. A dog. Ash-covered, panting, eyes wide. A tan and black military K9. No vest, no handler, just foam on its jowls and blood on its back paw. It didn't approach them. It didn't slow. It bolted straight for the heart of the wreckage. "Hey, dog! Hey, come here!" a private shouted, dropping to one knee. The dog ignored him completely. It leapt over broken panels and scorched tires, scrambling through the twisted skeleton of a blown-out Humvee. Its claws scraped metal. Its breath came ragged. Then it stopped, right in front of the largest debris mound, once the middle transport vehicle. Its nose twitched. It circled once. And then it started to dig. The rescue team hesitated. For one long second, no one moved. Ruiz broke the silence. "Get me that tag," he ordered, pointing. "What's his serial?" The dog was tearing into the rubble now, snarling, biting at seat cushions and broken panels, yelping when the metal burned its pads, but refusing to stop. A corporal crept closer with a scanner. "He's registered. Call sign Bravo 2, assigned to Sergeant Evan Cole." Ruiz stiffened. "Cole?" "Confirmed." Ruiz turned toward the rubble. Cole's transport was in the middle, but they said there were no survivors. The dog kept digging, barking, clawing, desperate. Ruiz stepped forward, squinting into the wreckage. Then, faint, barely audible over the wind, came something else. A sound that made every soldier freeze in place. Tap, tap, tap. From underneath the rubble, someone was alive. The tapping wasn't an echo. It was real, rhythmic, weak, but insistent. Someone was beneath the wreckage, alive. "Everyone back," Captain Ruiz shouted. "Clear that quadrant, now!" The soldiers scrambled into action. Medics dropped packs. Engineers with handheld tools rushed toward the smoking vehicle skeleton. But the dog, Bravo 2, was already ahead of them. He tore at the metal and ash with frantic paws. His claws bled. His teeth were blackened. But he didn't stop. He couldn't. Something inside him refused to let go. "Get him out of there," one of the younger soldiers cried, moving toward the dog. "He's gonna hurt himself." But Ruiz raised a hand. Let him keep going. The team froze. All eyes shifted to the captain. "He knows," Ruiz said quietly. "He knows exactly where he's digging." Bravo's paws scraped past burned nylon. His nose shoved aside wires and shattered plastic. He barked sharply 3 times, then paused and listened, ears flicking. Tap, tap. It was getting fainter. Ruiz dropped to one knee beside the wreck. "We've got a structural collapse. There could be a pocket under there." A combat engineer approached. "We'll need a saw to cut through the upper frame. It's partially fused." "Then cut it," Ruiz said, "but keep the dog clear." Bravo refused to move. When one soldier tried to grab his collar, he snapped, not to attack, but to warn. His entire body was quaking with exhaustion, yet he kept clawing, digging, whining. "You're going to burn your paws off," a medic whispered under her breath. "You crazy thing." Minutes passed like hours. The saws buzzed, sparks flew, soldiers lifted charred panels coughing through dust. Bravo began to slow. His legs trembled, but his nose kept working, shoving deeper into the earth. Suddenly his entire body stiffened. He barked once, sharp and urgent, and dove into the hole with his head. He whined, cried, then shoved his shoulder against the metal and let out a sound that wasn't a bark or a growl. It was a plea. A medic pushed forward. "That's it. There. He's found something." They cleared debris faster now, hearts pounding. 2 soldiers lifted a warped panel, and underneath, buried beneath twisted metal and glass, was a figure. Half his face was caked in soot, his helmet was cracked, his hand twitched just once. "Life sign," someone shouted. "He's breathing." The soldier lying there was barely recognizable, but the name patch was untouched. Cole. Bravo lunged forward and collapsed against the body. He laid his head on Cole's chest and wouldn't move, wouldn't even blink. Medics rushed in with stretchers and oxygen, but they hesitated for a split second because the dog growled low when they reached for the man. "Easy," one medic said gently. "You did it, buddy. You brought us here." Bravo stayed still until Cole's fingers brushed weakly through his fur. Then, and only then, the dog exhaled and let go. Darkness presses in like wet concrete. His lungs burn. Time slips sideways. Sounds are muffled, distant, like echoes through glass. But something keeps pulling him back. Sergeant Evan Cole floats in and out of consciousness. He doesn't know how long he's been trapped. Minutes? Hours? A day? The explosion rings on repeat behind his eyelids. Bright flash, fire, weightlessness, then pain. Now, just black. He can't move. Something pins his legs. His left arm is numb. His mouth tastes like copper and dust. He tries to speak. Nothing comes out. Then he hears it. Barking, faint, wild, familiar. He blinks, or thinks he does. And suddenly he's not under rubble anymore. He's standing in a training yard, sunlight in his eyes. A younger version of himself is kneeling in front of a trembling German shepherd pup. The dog growls low, testing him. "Name's Bravo 2, the handler says. Rescued from a blown-out checkpoint. He doesn't trust anyone yet." But Cole doesn't flinch. He holds out a hand. "He'll come around," he whispers. And the pup does. Memory bleeds into memory. He sees long patrols, shared MREs, desert sunrises. Bravo curled at his feet on cold nights, Cole brushing the dust from the dog's ears after every mission. A voice drifts in. "Fading pulse, we need that line in now." Cole flinches. He's not in the training yard. He's underground again, somewhere between alive and not. Scratching. He hears it. Then barking, louder this time, desperate, determined. His lips part, but he can't call out. Instead, he reaches up with the only strength he has left and taps. Tap, tap. He doesn't know if anyone hears. His vision blurs again. He sees Bravo limping through flames, scorched paws, foaming mouth, digging like the world depends on it. Maybe it does. Maybe this is the world. Him and that dog, that bond. He feels something. Pressure against his chest. Weight, warmth, breathing. He knows that shape, that smell. It's fur, smoke-stained fur. Bravo, he's here. "Stay," Cole mouths. "Stay." His fingers twitch. They find something soft and solid. Fur. He's not dead. Then light. Someone shouts his name. "Cole, can you hear me?" Hands grip him. Oxygen mask. Chest compression. Voices rising in panic and urgency. But all he hears is the breathing. All he feels is Bravo's heartbeat pressed against his ribs. And as he's lifted out of the hole, torn from the dirt and the smoke and the black, he opens his eyes, just for a second, and sees the dog looking back at him. Not barking now, just watching, like he always has. The moment the stretcher hits daylight, the camp goes silent. Cole lies motionless, face pale, mouth slightly open, oxygen mask fogged from shallow breaths. His body is covered in grime, burns, and blood, but his chest rises. Slowly, weakly. He's alive. Barely. Bravo walks beside the medics, head lowered, steps uneven. His paws are raw, burnt. His coat is matted with blood, not all of it his own. But he won't stop moving, won't let them take Cole without him. A medic reaches out to stop him. "Whoa, boy, you can't." A growl rips from Bravo's throat. It's not loud, but it's final. No teeth bared, no bluff, just a warning no one dares test. Captain Ruiz steps between them. "Let him through," he orders. The medic backs off as Bravo pushes forward. He lays his head gently on Cole's thigh as the team lifts the stretcher into the evac chopper. One of the crew looks uncertain. "We don't normally allow animals on board." Ruiz turns, voice sharp. "This animal just found the only man still breathing under 40 tons of metal. He's earned a seat." Inside the chopper, Cole stirs. His eyes flutter. Bravo shifts. The medic beside him leans forward. "We've got eye movement, increased respiration. He's stabilizing." Cole's fingers twitch, then move slightly toward Bravo's head. They find fur. The contact is faint, barely there, but it's enough. Everyone in the helicopter watches in stunned silence as the battered dog rests his chin across the soldier's chest and doesn't move, doesn't make a sound. One of the younger medics clears his throat. That dog, he knew, the whole time, knew exactly where to dig. "Not just that," another says. "He didn't leave the blast site. That thing hit yesterday morning. This dog's been out there, alone, for nearly 20 hours. Waiting," someone whispers. The ride back is quiet, heavy with something deeper than exhaustion. Back at base, a crowd gathers as the chopper lands. News has already spread. A soldier found alive. A dog who wouldn't stop. As the stretcher rolls down the ramp, Bravo hops off and immediately positions himself at Cole's side, growling softly if anyone gets too close. A nurse hesitates. "We'll need to separate them for triage." "No, you won't," Ruiz says, stepping in. He stays. In the medical bay, Bravo curls on the floor beside Cole's cot. He doesn't eat, doesn't sleep. His tail doesn't wag. He just watches, waits. When Cole wakes for the first time, barely able to speak, the first word that passes his lips is a whisper. "Bravo." The dog lifts his head and wags his tail once. Cole wakes up to sunlight and silence. Not gunfire, not rotors, not the deafening blast that still echoes in his dreams, just the slow, steady rhythm of his own breath. He's in a recovery room, tubes in his arm, bandages along his ribs. His throat burns, but he's alive. Barely. And Bravo is there, curled up at the foot of the bed, one eye open, watching. When Cole stirs, the dog rises, limping, worn thin, but alert. He places his chin on Cole's lap and lets out a breath so deep and heavy it sounds like it came from the bottom of the world. Cole reaches out, fingers trembling, and lays a hand on the dog's head. "You didn't leave," he whispers. Bravo doesn't wag his tail, doesn't bark, just presses closer. Word spreads fast. A soldier pulled from the wreckage, a K-9 who wouldn't give up. Within days, the story goes viral. Security footage of Bravo digging goes worldwide. Tens of millions of views, thousands of comments. Soldiers, civilians, families, people who've lost, people who've waited, people who've hoped. They all see it for what it is, loyalty made real. News crews request interviews. Command declines. Cole's not ready. He's still processing what happened, still healing. But one ceremony happens anyway, a private, quiet moment at base. Cole, still using a cane, stands beside Bravo as a general steps forward. "For valor," the man says, "and for refusing to leave a soldier behind?" He pins a small medal to Bravo's collar. The room salutes. The dog doesn't understand protocol, doesn't need to. He just sits beside the man he pulled from death and closes his eyes. Weeks pass. Cole walks more, speaks more. The nightmares fade, but not completely. And Bravo? He never leaves. Not the base, not Cole's side, not the quiet shadow he's become. Cole applies for retirement, not from life, but from war. I owe him more than I can repay, he tells the board. I think it's time we both rest. They approve the adoption. Bravo is officially no longer a military dog. He's family. 1 month later, Cole stands on the front porch of a small cabin in the woods. No noise, no sirens, just trees, wind, peace. Bravo lies on the porch beside him, scarred paws crossed, watching the horizon. Cole holds a coffee in one hand and the dog's old vest in the other. Inside the lining, faded but visible, are 5 letters carved with a knife. Stay. He smiles. You did more than that. Bravo looks up, tilts his head. Cole kneels, places the vest in a wooden box, and shuts the lid. He's no longer a soldier trying to survive. Now he's a man learning to live again, because of a dog who refused to leave. And somewhere deep inside, he knows. He didn't save Bravo. Bravo saved him. Sometimes heroes wear uniforms, and sometimes they wear fur. This wasn't just a rescue, it was a promise kept, a dog that refused to stop searching, a bond so strong it clawed through fire, rubble, and death itself. If this story touched you, share it. Let the world see what loyalty really looks like. Like, comment, and subscribe for more unbelievable animal stories where survival meets heart, and where love never leaves anyone behind.